You're listening to Cards to the Moon, a podcast about trading cards from both a collector and investor perspective. We hope you'll stick around for the ride as we take a deep dive into the state of the hobby, share some hot takes, hopefully some useful advice, and fun stories along the way. Hey guys, welcome back to Cards to the Moon. This is episode 166. My name is Clark from 5Card Guys on Instagram and 5cardguys.com. With me as usual is Hyung of Integrity Sports Cards and John, who is Trade You at Recess, also on Instagram. Now off the top today, this week we saw the release of 2023 Topps Update Baseball, where you get all your rookie debut cards. But new to this set is the first Stitch relic card. Now, the subset features just 12 players who recently changed teams, like Jacob deGrom and Xander Bogaerts, or they're playing on their first team ever as a rookie, like Anthony Volpe and Jordan Walker. Now, each card is numbered to 50, okay? And it consists of an MLB authenticated patch. And in the case of the deGrom first Stitch card, for example, on the back it would say that it's a piece of the very first mass-produced Jacob deGrom home white Texas Rangers number 48 jersey. Okay, so a couple more things. These hits fall one in every almost 17,000 packs, so it's pretty hard to get. And they are not player or game-worn relics either. What do you guys think of this first Stitch relic card in this year's Topps update?
Are these aren't autoed, right? They're just relic cards?
I believe so, yeah.
Okay.
Non-auto.
And this is in Topps update, right? That you're okay.
2023 Topps update, yeah.
What's with the stitch? Are the jerseys are fully stitched?
I just think it's the name of the relic card. It's probably a nice patch.
So I'm looking at the cards. The card itself is actually a good looking relic, to be honest.
It's a good size relic.
It does look like a stitched relic though.
What do you mean stitched relic?
I don't know, Clark, the picture you're showing me, or the Topps Instagram update. Like if you look at the actual patch, it does look like grandma stitched. You know what I'm saying? The appearance. I wonder if the jersey or the patch is actually stitched. Anyways, not really.
Well, the patch would be stitched. It would be the embroidered whatever it is, and then the card itself is just the print, right? And then it looks like it has like that one as the logo, and then the multicolored embroidered patch. Not game used, you said?
Not game worn or
yeah. So it's the same thing. Like I think it's overhyped. Like I wish Fanatics would step up their game here, because I think they have the capabilities of doing so. I will say the patches in previous years were always horrible, just because they would be just the relic, the white napkin relics that we hate, but they weren't numbered. These look like they're multicolored. So I think from a collector's standpoint, it's a decent hit, especially in Topps Update. I think Update is kind of disappointing this year, just in general. You had a big launch with a good rookie class, and then it's kind of like secondary set of what are we chasing here, right? For me personally, you got Eddie Julian, Canadian kid that I would love to chase because it's his first rookie card. But other than that, I think Topps Update is kind of like the set that really doesn't have any love right now. And these patches, I'm telling you, it's not, they're not highly desired in baseball, in my opinion, until I guess there's more meaning behind it. You look at previous sets like Triple Threads, things that kind of like focus on the patch, and it's a very niche marketplace. So they have to do something, right? So they have to, come up with something. But I'm hoping that Fanatics, steps up their game with the patches, because the relic game is pretty sad with Topps in general and the history of it. So until I don't think there's going to be huge demand, but if I pulled one, I'd probably be happy, just because if they are numbered, if they're numbered to 50, I think that's pretty cool.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think, John?
I don't know. It's a non-story for me. Pretty disappointing. What did you say? 1 in 17,000 packs.
Yep.
I mean, to have one of your rarest hits in the entire set I will say the card looks pretty nice. The patch looks really nice of the picture that I'm seeing. But for it to have no special meaning behind it, like it's not game used, there, like we talked about before, Fanatics has such a great opportunity to, like be able to show where the jersey may have came from, right? If it was a game used on whatever, right? Like April 24th, 2024. It would have been so much cooler if there's some details behind the card when it was actually patched, but just to have like a completely manufactured patch, not game worn, not even event worn, not to say event worn would have been anything more amazing, but to have none of that and then have like this crazy manufactured rarity, I don't know. Yeah, it means nothing to me. Next, on to the next.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's a glorified relic patch card still. And just the description, I had to read it a few times because I don't completely understand it. It's the first mass-produced jersey or a relic card. Like, it almost sounds like an oxymoron. It makes it sound like it's rare, but it's also mass-produced.
Yeah.
So I don't get it. And they just made 50 of these cards. So yeah, it's confusing to me. And, just looking at the Topps Instagram post and just the comments below it, like, I think the majority are, the ones that are most vocal are, of course, critical. But there is an overwhelming, sense that this is just not the greatest thing or doesn't warrant the hype that the Topps probably was hoping to get from these first Stitch cards. So a little disappointing as well. But at least they're trying, hopefully they take some of this as feedback and we'll see if there are any improvements for next year's Topps Series 1, I guess, is the next set that comes out. Okay, let's move on now then to hobby headlines. Okay, so there was a bunch of hobby news this past week, so I thought for today's episode we can do a kind of a headline rundown and give our initial takes on each piece of news, okay? Then I think we should be caught up for the most part until our next episode. All right, so first I wanted to touch upon Geoff Wilson's announcement that he would be opening a 14,000 square foot card shop in Atlanta, slated to open early 2024. He's calling it CardsHQ, and he plans to offer a virtual shopping experience where you can walk the shop live 24/7 from anywhere in the world and presumably buy cards online as well. So your first thoughts on Geoff's big announcement?
I think first initial thought is what's he up to? What's he doing? Like, especially, 14,000 square foot retail is a pretty large operation. I think he said he invested $3 million or he's dumping $3 million into it. I looked more into it and I seen kind of like their plan, and I think this is the thing with Geoff Wilson. He's a very good marketer. He understands business, and I know that a lot of people give him a little bit of shade, and they want his venture to fail. But he's a good marketer. He knows what he's doing. So I audited it a bit, just kind of looked into it, and I kind of seen kind of like the way he's creating revenue streams with this. And I believe he's going to be backed by, the partners, the big partners like Fanatics on this. So I think he knows what he's doing, one. So I think it will be a success because based on the way he's basically launching it, and you got to remember Sports Card Investor is actually going to have space in there as well. So everything from the Sports Card app, or Sports Card Investor app, can all tie back into this, whether it's, they're offering submissions on site. They're offering all these different ways that draw people in. And especially in Atlanta, I mean, it's pretty close to the ballpark. And my thinking is it's probably going to take, a good 6 to 8 months to renovate that place minimum. Right. And they probably want to be up and running for the 2024 season as well. So I think having support from like the big dogs like Fanatics, I think is probably, you know, a lot of unseen stuff that we see, a lot of things that they could take advantage of and partner up with Fanatics with. And like I said, he's at the end of the day, he's a genius marketer. He knows what he's doing. And I believe that it will be a success and it will create, I guess, a buzz in the sports card world, because we're always looking for places. I guarantee if you go to Atlanta, you're stopping by.
Yeah, for sure.
Right? Just check out that place. So I think that's the marketing in him, that by the time it opens, everybody in the card world will know about it, right? At the end of the day. So he's just playing that game. And yeah, I don't mind it. Because like I said, I back anybody that's trying to at least make the hobby better. A lot of people won't see it that way, especially a lot of the hobbyists, the old school card collectors. They don't like where, you know, the industry is necessarily going, but with everything, change is inevitable. So for me, you know, someone to dump that much money into invest in it, it shows me how bullish he is on the market, especially in a state of what our world is in, right? But I think it's a good, definitely a good sign for the hobby.
Yeah. I'm just sad that it's far from us, that we can't go and visit it, but it's pretty exciting news. I'm actually pretty impressed by watching, whether you want to hate on him or not. I've been very impressed watching Geoff Wilson's journey from being an individual sports card investor, doing YouTube, making them high quality from the start, creating a company, having employees, creating like a YouTube TV show, and then now opening up a giant shop. It's pretty impressive. And I'm sure not all of it has been rosy and flowers, and he's had to spend maybe a lot of his money, or maybe some of the monies from his other companies. I don't know how he's been able to do it, but clearly he's, so to speak, looks like he's kind of going all in on all of this stuff. So, I mean, even if you were to hate on the guy, how could you not see this as a positive for the hobby, to see another, whatchamacallit, Hyung, your boy Costa, that created that nice shop in New England.
Card Vault.
And David Adams stores, like seeing these giant sports card stores pop up, that's what we wanted to see, right? Like we wanted to see these giant shops open up. So I think that's exciting news, and I hope it works out. And I think Hyung hit such a great point at the beginning. Like what is he up to? Like we got Geoff Wilson has been one of the most, biggest individual marketers in the hobby ever since COVID started. And you have to think, for him to commit millions of dollars to this shop, there is partnerships in place that are guaranteed to happen here, right? Like Hyung's a businessman, Clark, you're an individual, like entrepreneur too. Like you wouldn't commit these millions of dollars unless you knew, Fanatics and things, you had these like handshake deals in place to really go for it. So clearly there's something going to happen here. So it should be, everyone in the hobby should be excited about it, I think. Yeah,
totally agree. Not much more to add there. I think, if you're wondering how committed he is to the sports card industry, to the hobby, I mean, $3 million is nothing to laugh at.
Yeah.
And I think that's, the saying, money talks, right? So I think this is a great move for him. I think it'll be exciting for the hobby, and Atlanta for collectors will become a destination to go to, kind of what you said, Hyung. If you're in Atlanta, you're definitely stopping by. There's no way you're going to miss this, right? So good for Geoff, and we'll definitely see how things progress. I'm sure he'll update us. He's, like you said, he's a marketer. He's a content creator, and he'll just kind of put his progress up there on his socials. So no doubt we'll be seeing how that goes for the next few months. Okay, number 2. Remember the MLB Debut Patch that rookies wore on their jersey for their first MLB game ever? We did a podcast about this in the spring when they launched it, and we thought it was a great idea. Now we know where those patches will be going. It's going to be part of a relic card inserted into the 2023 Topps Chrome update set, which is slated to come out November 15th, so not that far ahead. Do you think these will be a big chase?
I actually could back into something like this more than kind of like that first Stitch patch. Right. I feel like if they do this every year, because I'll tell you what, last year's update, especially Chrome update, was such a disappointment. Right. There was really no incentive to kind of go open the product. They have 2 configurations, I believe, this year. I think update has always been hobby boxes. They have a jumbo now, so they're going to actually have 3 autos in a jumbo and then 1 auto in a hobby. Wasn't like that before in the past. So I think with the set, I think it works really great, especially it being released in November at the end of the year. And then those MLB debut patches being those 1 of 1. And it looks to me that like what they're trying to do is kind of create that scarcity or the demand of the logo men that Panini produced. Right. And it's kind of like baseball's way of, can we create one of those where, hey, this was actually on the game worn jersey. So if they're doing this every year now and it becomes like the new logo man of MLB, you look back and say, okay, Anthony Volpe becomes, a stud, a New York legend. And the fact that MLB patch was on his first game day, right? So I think there's a lot of cool things about that. Whether or not it kind of comes to fruition as like a successful part of Chrome update, I definitely think they have all the working parts, because you wouldn't want to put this in, let's just say, Topps Chrome or any like obviously Bowman Chrome products, more prospect, but like I think Topps Chrome update, there's not really any incentive. You had your 2023 chases like Adley, Volpe, Gunnar, Michael Harris, all those guys. So you've been spending all year in paper and Chrome, chasing those rookies, Corbin Carroll included. And then now it's Topps Chrome update. Everybody's like, nobody wants the rookie debut cards and stuff like that, especially in mass produced products nowadays. People still don't want, in 2018, the update products really. So yeah, it's definitely something that I think will help the product, because now you have a pretty big chase and update. You really never had a big chase and Chrome update, right? Whereas the paper kind of sucks because you don't really have that 1 of 1 chase, right? So I think they're onto something. Like I said, this is what first full year of Fanatics, so you're going to see a lot of, I think, scratching your heads, kind of saying, okay, is this cool or is this not? We actually won't know until like further along down the road. But I think comparing like that Stitch card in the Topps update paper set compared to this MLB debut chase, I think the MLB debut chase has way more kind of validation for you to kind of rip Chrome.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, I understand the relationship now. So MLB debut with the Topps update, which are also debut cards. Okay. So it is going to be the debut game used, like from the debut, right?
That's in Chrome. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I like that. Yeah, I think it's going to be pretty cool. I don't know how valuable or hyped it will be. I think it'll be decent. I'm assuming they're not putting on-card autos. Like that would have just taken it.
They have to be. I think they should do the on-card.
Oh man, I hope there's on-card autos, because if it's that, I think that would really explode the hype of the card. If it's just a debut patch game used, I think it's still pretty cool. I gotta say, like that's the kind of game used patch sort of deals that I want to see. So I like that part. But man, hopefully.
I believe it is autographed. I don't know if it's sticker or on card. That's what I don't know.
Okay. That's cool. I get the relationship with the debut, that it's got to go with the update. And there's a bit of strategy there. They want people purchasing an update box or purchasing that product. Otherwise, probably would have been pretty lackluster. But I don't know. I'm starting to be on the opinion that Topps should just get rid of, old school heads will probably hate this take, but I think they should just get rid of update. And if it was back into the regular Topps Chrome release, I think that would have been so much better. To have one of your premium chases that people have been looking for, it should be in your number 1 product, not Topps update. But
yeah,
I could understand the strategy around it.
I don't think they might not have the time to, like, let's just say you get called up in August, right? Topps Chrome is already released by then. So it's like, you have all your rookies that got called up before September that's included in this patch. And they kind of have to put it at the end of the year. That's my thinking, right? They wouldn't be able to put everyone in any earlier release sets, right?
Right. No, but even Makes to sense. Have like if you're getting called up mid-year, it means you've had a pretty good season in the minors and you're pretty hyped. So then in the following season, you're just going to end up having probably a bigger, wider pool of really, really good prospects to chase in Topps Chrome, right? That would make that product even crazier, right? So anyways, just a take on my end.
Yeah, fair take. I don't know. I think these are going to be huge. I think especially if it's an on-card auto. Yeah. I like your comparison as the baseball logo man, essentially. Like it has that significant patch to make this card something big, and it's a 1/1, obviously, because they wore it one time on their debut game, and yeah, with the auto, I'm curious to see how much some of these will go for when they come out on the market.
Oh, I forgot it's a 1/1.
Yeah,
of course it's a 1/1. Yeah, duh.
So my question for you guys is, I know there's more than these players I'm going to just list, but if you had to pick which MLB debut patch on-card auto 1/1 that you would want, who would it be? Okay, Anthony Volpe. There's going to be one of his in this set, presumably. Masataka Yoshida from the Red Sox, or Jordan Walker of the Cardinals. Which one would you want?
Why only those three?
Is there more? Like I don't know. Am I missing a top rookie that?
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't. I would assume like Adley, Gunnar, Corbin, all of those guys in there, or no?
That's a good question. I think Gunnar played last year, though.
Oh, he did. Yeah. Gunnar did play last year, and then Corbin Carroll did play the year before as well, right? They weren't official rookies until 2023. They have to be
like actual debuts.
Because they started the debut early this year in 2023. That's right. So technically Volpe, Walker. So that kind of sucks. Because you're looking for Corbin Carroll there, or maybe Gunnar or Adley. I mean, for me, Volpe is your guy, I think. Okay. I like him a little better than Walker, although, Walker could be a guy that hits 30, 40 bombs in the big leagues and becomes, a stud in his own way. But you just have to like the shortstop position, the young kind of like Anthony Volpe hype around him, as well as, he didn't have a great season. He didn't have a bad season. He started off really slow, but same with guys like, Mike Trout, for instance. His first year wasn't the greatest, but they're young, right? So yeah. I like Anthony Volpe's kind of like the marriage of he didn't have a great year. Everybody kind of left on him. I'll tell you, he's very, very similar player to Bobby Witt Jr. Very, very similar, right? So it's like, and Bobby Witt Jr. had a great season this year. So out of those three, I would definitely say Anthony Volpe.
Okay. John, you got a preference?
It's probably pretty tough, but I think you have to pick Volpe for me. I'm gonna take the upside. From all accounts, I think Volpe was a pretty big disappointment for most people. I think he was like bottom or second last in like OPS, or statistically he had a rough season, and I think it's mainly because everybody was just expecting fireworks. Yeah. He's got the pedigree, so I'll take the pedigree and the potential all day long. So yeah, Volpe.
Okay. Volpe does play for the Yankees. I like that, but I think I'm going to side with Jordan Walker. I think, I just like Jordan Walker.
Nice and safe.
I'll tell you something crazy. Sorry, just to cut you off, but the Volpe, even though he had 209, he still had a 3.2 WAR. So he's the type of player that, he gets it up to 280, 30 home runs.
How many homers did he hit this year?
He had 21. He sold 24 bags.
Okay.
So he 2020 to first season as
that's
all
pretty
right,
good.
I choose Volpe.
Yeah,
I choose Volpe. You convinced me. I was reading this MLB article while you guys were talking, and it confirms, with the top three prospects in baseball having already made their major league debuts, Gunnar, Henderson, Corbin Carroll, and Francisco Alvarez. Walker and Volpe will be the two highest rated prospects to be part of the first opening day featuring the MLB Debut Patch. So there you go.
Okay.
All right. Third, KK Sports Cards arguably just pulled the biggest sports cards in the 2023 Bowman Chrome baseball set. I'm talking, of course, about the Ethan Salas Superfractor 1/1 autograph card. Some are putting the value at $100K already. Do you think someone will buy it for that price tag?
I think somebody is going to be stupid enough to buy it, yes. But I think...
but you don't think it's worth that much?
No, absolutely not. I mean, Ethan Salas is a stud, don't get me wrong. He's a big-time prospect, but you fall into... This guy's 17 years old this year. He turned 18, I believe. Played AA, struggled, obviously, inevitably. He's a young kid. So, but you got the mixture of, he's still young. He's, he might be an early call up to the big leagues like a Francisco Alvarez. He's fairly young as well, but you're not, and again, Francisco Alvarez was the number one prospect at one point in baseball, right? So you look at Ethan Salas, he's being a top 5 as a 17-year-old. Well, maybe he's not that high. I haven't checked the top 100 list, but he's up there. And I think, with this superfractor bounty hunting, with all these, buybacks and stuff, has given an enormous amounts of hype on the first Chrome product itself. So I think a lot of that is kind of like the hype, right? Like a lot of people, even Bowman Chrome this year, the chase was Ethan Salas, right? And his prices are astronomical in general. But like I said, like if you see the previous sales on superfractors, and we've talked about this, you've seen ridiculous prices like Jason Dominguez at $474K. I think Bobby Witt sold for whatever it was. So you're seeing astronomical prices. So the person that's buying Ethan Salas' first Chrome, right? You pull that, you cash out. You cash out on 100K. How much more can it go up in the next 5 years? Right. So for me, it's like, you got to take that profit. If you're the guy who pulled it, just sell it. I'd take 80. I'd take 70. I'd take 50, just get rid of it, because you don't want to be the guy playing that next game. Is it going to sell for that 150, 200K? I mean, it can. Ethan Salas could quite frankly become the next superstar. But to me, that might not be even worth it. At that point, even if he becomes a superstar, it might be 30, 40K, at that point. We never know, right? So taking that huge risk of that kind of money, I think it's wise to just sell it. 100K is a pretty healthy sale if that's what it's going to go for, right? And there's to give you an idea, there's the Acuna Superfractor at Golden right now. It's at $190,000 with 15 days remaining, right? So it gives you an idea of where would we see that, and that's a Acuna level type card, right? And on a massive card, bigger than Ethan Salas' Superfractor.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, I don't have much to add. 100K, I don't know. That's that, because I don't know anything about Ethan Salas. But if it's 100K, yeah, I'm with Hyung. Like, if I had that card, I am selling. Whoever is offering me 50 plus, I'm taking the highest offer for sure.
I think we're all on the same page. I'm selling so quick.
Yeah.
But if you look at the prospect rankings, he is number 5 right now on the MLB.com prospect rankings. If you're interested who the other 4 guys are, is Dylan Cruz, Paul Skeens, Jackson Chourio, and Jackson Holiday. 2 Jacksons up top 2.
2 Jacksons,
another Oriole. Jeez.
And he's a catcher. Did I say that already?
Catcher. We mentioned that. Yeah, that's the tough part, right? That's why I mentioned Francisco Alvarez, right? That guy was number 1, and look at his superfractor prices, right?
I don't like it one bit. All right, number 4, staying on the topic of superfractors, the Babe Ruth Retrofractor Superfractor. That's a tongue twister. From the 2023 Bowman Chrome set was pulled, and the owner took the 200K bounty offered by Dave and Adams.
Of course.
Was that the right choice, or
1,000,000%? Holy jeez, 200K? I'd rather have the Ethan Salas for 100. Hey, but here's the thing. I like the idea of what they're doing with the retrofractors, to be honest. I like the idea, but it's manufactured scarcity. It's almost artificial. There's nothing special about that card, really. Whereas you take the MLB patch of Volpe, for instance. Not saying that it's near anywhere close to 200K. I'd rather have that Volpe patch, to be honest, just because I think it has way more future longevity in terms of what the card represents, as opposed to a manufactured kind of like, we don't know, like Victor Wembanyama is a perfect example. We don't know what that Bowman Chrome First U is going to actually pan out, because basketball never had Bowman First. Is it going to be a staple, you know, for the next 20 years of, wow, this is amazing. No, all baseball players don't have first cards, and we're creating all these scarcities through, you know, these manufactured scarcity, right? And it's like creating Hank Aaron's first chrome. Is that going to be the chase? But then you look at, in the next 2-3 years, what happens to that Babe Ruth card? Is somebody going to pay more than $200,000 for that card, right? And the person that, I don't know, David Adams, I think was the guy. Maybe they keep it, but maybe they sell it for $100K, $125K, and it'll show you exactly kind of like it's all manufactured hype. And it was just like the card market in 2021, where it just peaked and then it corrects itself to what it's actually worth, right? So I see that a lot with these cards, to be honest. I really like the idea because there was no options back in any vintage type cards. So, but like I said, if it was like something like a Babe Ruth autograph, on card auto, or something cool like that, where it's just like, wow, this is super, super rare, or even like a relic or a manufactured patch of that is game used, I think that would hold way more value than a manufactured first chrome of, this is the first of it. And for $200,000, are you kidding me? Like, I'm cashing out. That, whoever pulled that, I remember when they pulled it. It was the second card of that pack, and they were like, wow, this is like, we just hit he didn't realize it was Babe Ruth, right? He just knew it was a superfractor, but
right. Yeah, that was funny.
This retrofractor thing, I think this is the epitome, or like the perfect example of manufactured hype. It doesn't get any more manufactured hype than this. Because like I mentioned it before, it's like Wilt Chamberlain retro Prizm. Like, what is that worth? Like $1? Like, it's not worth anything. Like, nobody cares. A retro Prizm of Magic Johnson. Like, nobody cares. I don't know how this became such a big thing, other than the fact that there's a 200K bounty. And I have to think, like, again, it's funny to me, but you know, David Adams, they're a smart business. They don't think that's worth 200K. I think there's a business behind it, whether it's Fanatics is off. If you announce the bounty, Fanatics is offering, you know, the biggest allotment of Bowman First to them, first and foremost, before anybody else. They get like 40% of all the stock in the world. And then this announcement,
we wouldn't know that. Yeah.
Right. This announcement also creates this like frenzy of people going on David Adams to try and purchase the boxes and rip in store. So there's sort of like a double whammy. They input the money up front, but there's some sort of business return behind the scenes. Like, it has to be something like that, because the price on this doesn't make sense. I think, you know, like this card in the future, honestly, it's going to be like a $500 card. It's going to be worth nothing to me. I think it's like so manufactured that in a number of years, it's just like nobody's going to think about it, and it's going to be worth nothing. So, this is this is the perfect example of manufactured hype. Not trying to hate on it too much, but I'm just saying.
That's a lot of hate, but
sorry.
No, I'm just kidding. The only way this gets to be really highly valued is if the retrofractor from this year forward is something that collectors look forward to. And I was just looking at the checklist of the retrofractor this year. They only came out with 3, I believe. George Herman Ruth, so Babe Ruth, Roberto Clemente, and Johnny Bench. So if they every year just come out with 3 more retrofractors, do you know what I mean? And then they just kind of like, in 10 years, you got just 30. Like, you really create a scarcity. And then you're like, remember 2023 was the first time retrofractor was released, and it becomes a chase year after year. But that's assuming a lot, you know, that collectors will want to chase this. Yeah. And then, you know, and if they don't, then to your point, John, it becomes a $500 card, because it's just a regular insert that no one cares about anymore. And
I think we mentioned this early on an earlier show. I think it would have been cooler if they created not the 2023 design. It was an actual
right.
hey, mix in the design where it's like iconic or something like that, not 2023 Bowman Chrome. Like Babe Ruth 2023 Bowman like Chrome. Like what's the, you know what I mean? You look back in 2040 and you're like, hey, I got a 2023 Babe Ruth card. Like, well, I have the 1933 Goody. Like, which one would you rather have for $200K?
Right.
Really, right?
True. Very true. Okay, number 5. 2 more after this, or 1 more after this. Hyung, you actually brought this up briefly in our last episode, but I want to talk about it a little bit more. The Topps collaboration with Lids, the baseball cap store. There are new Topps card-themed hats you can buy with a limited edition Topps Chrome pack that comes with it. What do you think of the collaboration, and do you like the look of the hats?
Well, as you can see right now,
oh, you got one.
I'm rocking one right now.
Nice.
Right? I didn't even notice.
Yeah, like for me, like I'm a big believer in this. Like I mentioned it before. I love it. I love the idea. I just dropped by a Lids in Markville Mall here in Toronto just randomly today.
Yeah.
And they had a lot of stock, a lot of inventory. Mm-hmm. But like the options of the hats were limited, which was kind of a bummer because a lot of the hats are kind of like, I don't think I would rock this. Like I'm more of a like neutral tone. A lot of these hats,
I saw a lot of
flashy guys, you know, like kind of like, I don't know if those are I would rock it. And I was trying to buy 2 hats today. I couldn't even find another one I actually liked. I was just buying a hat maybe to get another pack, right? And you know, if you do the math, some of the stuff is like, it doesn't make sense because I think they're selling as high as like $40 a pack, which doesn't make any sense, right? You might as well get the hat at that point. But I personally love it. Like I said, I think Fanatics, where their strength is you know, in the apparel side, and if they're able to leverage their ability to create experience with, marketplaces that are similar. So it's like, what's Lids? Lids is, they sell official cap of New Era, like the game worn. So it makes sense that same, target audience is kind of like going in there and saying, hey, I really like this collab and I get to rip, you know, a pack of cards. And, you know, I think I'd like to see more of it, but obviously not. It has to be quality stuff. I know what I'm getting with the 50. It's a Mitchell & Ness, not 5950, but a Mitchell & Ness branded hat, which is cool because they have a lot of credibility in the apparel with NBA jerseys and stuff like that, and also scarce goods. So I like it as a collector. You know, just love hats in general. And I think there's a lot of potential with it. Yeah. Yeah.
Did you get a pack?
I did. And I obviously, you know, like that was the only reason why I got. Now I have a hat. I have a hat now. That's all I have left. We'll just put it that way, right? But I'm gonna. In my pack, I had like a Francisco Alvarez rookie, like just a base. But you know, there's a Julio and also a Corbin Carroll rookie card that, you know, I probably keep. It's cool, but I think the chase is cool too, right? Like the rip is fun. It's 3 card pack.
What's the best card you could get?
I mean, you could get autos, you could get numbered cards. They're like it's good. I think there's a lot of desire for it because they sell decently in the secondary market, which will drive the hype of the product at retail. Because technically, there's still inventory there. You could go to Markville, you know, snake in, you know, 3 hats and then sell the packs online, and then you probably got 3 hats for, you know, less than half price or whatever the math comes out to, right?
I was at Vaughan Mills and it was full stock. You could buy it.
They have full stock?
Yep. And that's pretty busy there. I know, seriously.
I'm actually excited. I didn't know if the Canadian Lids would have it, so I'm going to Markville tomorrow. I'm gonna pick one out if I like a design. Oh yeah, there's not a lot of like nice hats though. I'll tell you that.
Okay. The Jays one is pretty. The Jays one's pretty flashy.
Yeah, there's a couple Jays ones. There wasn't much, but yeah, like for me, I got the Los Angeles black. It's kind of like under the radar. It has like the 50-year tops, which nice. I don't even get because they've been around for a lot longer than that. So yeah, I don't know what that's all about, but
I like it. I'm gonna go there tomorrow for sure. I'll film it and
see. I could have said it was garbage. It was absolutely garbage, and now we just sold one more hat and one more pack.
There you go. Any thoughts, John? You getting one too?
I might. I don't know. My hats are so expensive now. It's crazy. I remember when it wasn't even that long ago. Fitted hats were like $35, $39. Aren't they like $70,
$45.50 now, right?
It's $45.50. This was Canadian, and then
right.
$60 was basically what I paid Canadian. Yeah, no,
that's not bad.
$59.99. Yeah, so you're paying $10 for the pack essentially.
Yeah. Okay. Honestly, I have nothing bad to say. Like this is the kind of stuff everybody likes to see. It's not too overhyped, but it's still positive. And I like that it's not too overhyped and you could walk into any mall, see it, pick it up. Kids that wanted to see it, they can go in with their parents. They don't have to go like day one, line up. I think it's pretty cool. I have nothing bad to say. I think it's great.
Yeah, love it too. All right, lastly, with the end of another MLB regular season, you always have some future Hall of Famers retiring. You know, this year you got Adam Wainwright, who was my fantasy ace way back when. But the guy I really wanted to talk about, of course, is Miguel Cabrera. He's finished his career with 500 plus homers, 3,000 plus hits, and a 300 plus career average. Do you know who the two other players are that have those stats?
What is the stats?
The 500 plus homer club plus the 3,000 plus hits and 300 career average.
300 career average. That changes a lot.
I think I remember you mentioned was it George Brett?
He doesn't have 500.
Not enough homers.
Right.
I gotta say maybe Hank Aaron.
Hank Aaron's one of them, yeah.
Nice.
And the other?
Yeah,
also vintage.
I wouldn't know. Maybe Babe Ruth, I'm guessing.
Not Babe Ruth, but it is Willie Mays.
Willie Mays.
So Willie Mays,
yeah. Okay, that makes
Hank
sense.
Aaron and Miggy. Exclusive club of 3 players with those stats.
Wow.
So my question is, what do you think about collecting Miggy's cards as an investment? You know, I don't know how you guys feel about people that retire. You know, they obviously can't accumulate more stats, so you got to be mindful of them. Are you waiting for them to hopefully get inducted into the hall? And, you know, his cards were in the 90s. So, you know, there's scarcity.
I think his cards were just at that brink of like 2000. Like, at 2000, but like it's traded, same thing. Yeah, top trade. Here's the thing with Miggy cards that kind of are interesting. One, they're scarce. Miggy autos are super scarce. You won't see an auto. I don't know why Topps did this, but he probably doesn't have any, like Topps traded paper at the time, you know, had a Miggy auto, but they're super rare. And then Chrome didn't have any autos. And I think, you know, he doesn't really have any auto until like 2006 in Allen and Ginter, your guys' set. I think Miggy's cards kind of worry me because everybody wants Topps Chrome traded. Okay. And, you know, there's a lot of volatility there, but it's been sitting sideways. I would say in between that $500 and $1,500 mark for a PSA 10. And where I compare that is, did Miggy have a better career than Albert Pujols? Right? Like, to me, I don't think so. I think Albert Pujols, a guy that hits 700 plus home runs, a guy that, you know, almost has a 300 average, but 100 plus WAR. You know, to me, that's like, you're in a very elite club with Albert Pujols, and you look at his price action in the last, even his hype when he retired last year, right? And it's been sitting sideways, if not probably gone down. So I look at like a Topps Chrome traded 2001 Albert Pujols. I think it sells for $1,500, $1,400, and some of Miggy's card on the top end in his 2000 Topps Chrome traded is on the upper end, it's at 1,500. On the low end, 500 within the last 3 months. If you could get the price in, pretty low, like in between that 500,000 mark, I think you're going to have a great card and a great buy. But I think if you're buying at kind of like that top of 1,500 where, the hype's initiating, it might see a little movement. But I think over the next years, as he retires, people are going to not forget about Miggy, but the hype dies down and it's not scarce enough, because you look at, I think, Albert Pujols' Topps Chrome traded, they probably pop of 400 plus. And that's what dictates the price. And then you look at Miggy's Topps Chrome traded, I think it's around 628 in terms of the pop count. So can that price sustain itself in terms of supply and demand? I don't think so, personally. I think there's a lot of great Miguel Cabrera cards out there because everybody's after that Topps Chrome traded. So I think there are good buys in individual cards of Miggy, and he is a buy at a point where this guy's special. This guy's put up incredible numbers, an incredible career. Not a lot of guys, like, he's in the same category as Hank Aaron, Willie Mays. Problem is he wasn't really present on the defensive side. He was an offensive guy only. Thus, his WAR is, in the 60s as opposed to the hundreds, right? So for me, Miggy is an interesting guy. If there's a good opportunity, I think, just as a guy who loves baseball, I think it'd be cool to have a nice Miggy in my collection. But if I'm looking at from a sheer short-term investment, I don't think the Hall of Fame is going to necessarily give the results that you're looking for.
Fair points.
Right. Yeah, I'm with Hyung. I think, he's one of the greats of our generation in baseball, but he is probably a little, kind of under the radar or slightly disrespected in terms of like an individual that's going to go into the Hall of Fame. And, this is the type of card that I don't think you got to take out the word invest. I don't think you invest in something like Miggy Cabrera. It's, if you're collecting the greats and, you in your collection, you have to have Pujols, Ichiro, Derek Jeter, Miggy. I get it. Like, great. Like, pick up one of his rookie cards, stash it in your collection. It's a great collection to have. But in terms of the word invest, I would probably stay away because these types of cards will go up and down as the hobby goes up and down. So it's very, very, very slow trajectory. So you can't expect, this is one of those, it sits in your collection, and if it happens to go up in the future, amazing, good bonus. But yeah, if you guys are more baseball than I am, I kind of like see Miggy and sort of on that sort of Dwayne Wade, Kevin Garnett train, right? Like how are those guys are sort of like these disrespected all-time greats, and I don't really see their cards really moving all that much either. So yeah.
When I first got into the hobby, one of the first cards I bought was the Miguel Cabrera Topps traded, not the Chrome traded, but the Topps traded BGS 9.5, and I bought it for like $95. And then even that sat sideways for a long time, and I think I sold it for like 120. Like, it was not a huge profit. But looking at the Chrome traded, it's PSA 10 pop count of 631. To your point, Hyung, it's sitting around 1,200 right now, and it's been like that up and down in that area for the past 2 years or so. So that's what you're looking at. But yeah, great for the PC. But I agree with all your points as well. Okay, well, that's hobby headlines rundown. Whenever there's a lot of news, maybe we'll just do another segment like this where we'll go through different news pieces and then get caught up that way. Okay, let's go on to our next segment we call Quiz Show. All right, this is when I ask you guys a question and then you answer the best you can. All right, and I think, the last two quiz shows, both of you have been doing really well. So I made it a little bit more challenging.
Oh, great.
Oh, no.
Put us on the spot right here. See what we really know. This is what we were supposed to be the ones hosting this, John. And then we asked Clark this.
Yeah.
Hey, anytime, but I am the one preparing the show notes and sending it to you week after week. So anytime you want to do a segment, go for it. But this, for the quiz show today, at least, the one I prepared, if you look on my 5 Card Guys Instagram, I just posted the top 10 sports cards of players who have to date, the most PSA 10 graded cards. I don't know if you guys saw it.
I love it. You're rattling some people. They're getting angry.
There's always a few, but you know what? I did get some love saying, "Oh, I love these videos." And
very informative. Yeah, I love it.
It gets a lot of traction. People love seeing these numbers. So quickly in order, number 1 to 10, because I know you guys have seen it, is 2019 Prizm, the Zion Williamson.
Right.
Is number 1, 22,860 PSA 10s. Okay.
Wow.
Jeez. So that's number 1. And quickly, number 2, Juan Soto, 2018 Topps Update. 3, Ja Morant, 2019 Panini Prizm. Base, of course. 4, Ronald Acuna, 2018 Topps Update. 5, Fernando Tatis, Topps 2019 Rookie. Number 6, Luka Doncic, his Prizm. I think that was the highest one. It was selling for 2,000 at its peak. Now it's selling for just above 200. Number 7, our boy, Lewis Robert, Topps Base. Number 8, Gavin Lux, 2020 Topps Base. You remember that guy?
Yeah.
Number 9, Lewis Robert, the only one that gets in the top 10 twice, his Topps Chrome Base. Then number 10 is Pete Alonso, his Topps Paper Base 2019. And that's a pop count of 16,044. Okay. Wow. So the quiz show question is, who are number 11 to 20? Okay. Wow. So just think of, and you don't need to know the exact card. You could just name some players you might think that, I remember these guys are being graded a lot. Okay?
Yeah, that had to have been in between 2020 and 2022. 2019
so
and 2022.
That's one of my clues. 9 out of the 10 of these, from number 11 to 20, 9 of them are from the years 2018 to 2020.
Wow.
Okay? And one of them is from 1989.
So that's the Griffey.
That is the Griffey. You know which card that was?
The Upper Deck.
No, not the Upper Deck.
Really?
Because the Upper Deck is 4,000
for
PSA 10s.
Right.
We're talking about PSA
10.
10s, not PSA submitted, yeah.
So it's 89 Griffey Don Russ? Is it? Would it be?
No. Actually, this is a tricky one. I think with the bat over his shoulder. Let me check.
Oh, yeah. Okay, Topps traded.
Topps
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really like the Tiffany version of that card. But Topps traded Griffey. Yeah, it makes sense.
Right.
It always sold for like $100.
That's the one that, right. That's the one that was featured on
16.
Topps project. Okay.
Yes, that's right. Yep, exactly. So the rest, you got that out of the way. The rest are 2018 to 2020.
So I got to say Vladdy NNO has to be in there.
No, it isn't.
No.
Trae Young, Prizm.
Nope, not Trae Young either.
So, let's see.
Kyle Lewis.
Kyle Lewis,
number
has
13.
To be there. Yeah, he has to be there.
2020 Topps, Kyle Lewis.
Yeah,
pop count 15,378.
Was Bo Bichette in the top 10?
Bo Bichette, 2020 Topps, Bo Bichette, number 15.
It's all 2020. It's all coming from 2020. Jordan Alvarez.
A lot of baseball there, actually.
Jordan Alvarez?
Jordan Alvarez, number 11. 2020 Topps, Jordan Alvarez, 15,690.
I'm trying to see all my base cards, what I have left.
I know.
I added to that pop count. Got to take care of that $15 bulk submission, you know? Let's see. So how many do we have left?
So you got 6 left. You got 4. So 6 left. And 1, 2, 3. You still got 3 baseball.
3 baseball, and then the rest are... Sorry, how many total? And then 3 baseball and 3 what?
6 left. 3 baseball, 3 basketball. 3 baseball, 3 basketball.
2019 Prizm, I'm guessing. Who's 2019 Prizm behind Ja
Hero?
And Zion?
It's not... Prizm is not on this list. Yeah, it's
really?
one of the lesser brands, I guess.
Optic. It has to be Optic.
Not Optic either.
Optic's pretty scarce, actually.
Sorry. You know what? My bad. There's one Prizm. 2019.
2019?
Mm-hmm.
It's not Tyler Hero?
No. Think of a superstar that just joined his new team. Everyone's hyped about it. Won a championship that first year in that COVID year. You guys remember the COVID shortened year? Who won in the bubble Who won the
LeBron.
2019 Prizm, his Lakers
2019
debut.
Oh, it's not a rookie card. Okay, yeah.
Not a rookie, yeah.
I have a couple of those too. If anybody needs it.
There might be some double. There might be some double. Is there like a Zion optic?
There's a Zion 2019 Mosaic Zion number 12 on the list.
Mosaic, yes, Mosaic was being ripped like crazy.
Then we have to think there's another Ja double up. No?
Yeah, it has to be Ja Mosaic. No,
no. So you got the two. You got one more basketball left. There's another. You've already said his name. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Is either LeBron or Zion. Another LeBron or Zion. Guess which one?
Oh, okay. I'm guessing there's another LeBron.
Yeah, it is another LeBron. 2018 Revolution.
I wouldn't have got that.
Wow, that's so random.
Yeah, that
14,655.
Wow.
All right, so you got rid of all the basketball. So 3 left.
3 baseball left.
And they're number 18, 19, and 20 on the list.
18, 19, 20. Let's see. It has to have been in the 2019 or 2020.
Yes.
Let's
2
see.
2019s, 1 2020.
2 2019. So who is the chick? Has to be Otani. Is there Otani?
Vladdy Chrome?
Sorry?
Vladdy Chrome.
That's a good one too.
Not Otani, not Vladdy, no.
Tatis Chrome.
Tatis Chrome, 2019.
Oh, that makes
sense.
sense.
Number 19 on the list.
So it's duplicate players?
It can. The number 5 was the Topps paper for Tatis.
Right.
Number 19 is the Topps Chrome.
Oh, there's got to be a duplicate Gavin Lux then. Like a Gavin
No,
Lux Chrome.
Not Pete Alonso? Pete Alonso Chrome?
No, not Pete Alonso.
Wow. Who did we double up? Is there a Bo Bichette double up?
No, there isn't. So these are actually no more double ups.
No more double ups.
But they're both from Bowman paper.
Bowman paper. Is Dominguez?
Jason Dominguez.
And
Bobby
2020
Witt Jr.?
Bowman. Nope.
No.
Last guy. 2019 Bowman.
29. Wander Franco?
Wander Franco, you got it. There you go.
Dang.
Not bad.
Wow.
You
You just brought so many memories of collecting, of ripping, submitting, collecting.
Oh, the good old days, eh?
The submission era.
The 3-4 years ago.
I have about 20 Topps Chrome, Luis Robert, and paper. If anybody's interested, I think they go for like $6.
I sold.
Or what do you say? $13?
I'll you know what? I'll make a part 2 video for number 11 to 20 for anyone that hasn't heard that didn't hear this episode. All right, good one. Okay, let's end off the show with our regular weekly segment we call Pick One. All right, and I'm gonna go first because it's just based on what we just talked about, these high pop counts. Okay, so which one would you choose? The 2019 Prizm Zion or the 2019 Prizm Ja? You have to choose one.
I'm gonna go with Ja. I like the pop count on Ja.
They're both similar.
Yeah,
22,382 versus 22,860.
So Ja was on that list.
Yeah, he was number 3.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going with Ja. I just like the longevity of Ja better than Zion. Like we talked about this many times in 2019 and 2020. Who would you pick? My answer still hasn't changed.
He's not playing for 25 games this season.
I know, and then Zion might get a little bump, but we're talking. Zion might be injured by the time Ja comes back.
Yeah, I'm going Ja as well.
All right, I'm gonna go with Zion upside at that price. I think they're both about $70-$80 now for the base Prizm. I'm going to just playing the upside at that point. So Zion for me. All right, Hyung, you want to go next?
Sure. I'm going to go baseball, and I like to bring up like guys that I think might have a good buying opportunity just based on kind of like previous years that we've been chasing. We've always been chasing the Otanis and stuff, but I'm not going Otani. I'm going with the guy by the name of Juan Soto. He is so, like, people think he had a crap year. I'm telling you, he does this every single year. If you look at his numbers, he had an outstanding year. Like, we're talking, the things that I look at is he walking? Plate discipline. He's led the league again in walks. OPS of 930 plus again. He hit 270 with 35 home runs, 100 plus RBIs. He's 28 WAR by the time he's age 24. He has six full seasons in the big leagues. Been able to, it's technically 8 seasons, accumulating, 28 WAR, and it doesn't seem like he's stopping either. And also, with the trade rumors that's going around, is he going to get dealt to a team like the New York Yankees or something like that, could cause a bit of hype. And Juan Soto cards, we talked about this a lot. He was a huge chase with Acuna in 2018, and there's a lot of scarcity involved in Juan Soto cards. Right. And that's what people don't realize. So you look at his Bowman Chrome auto, no base Bowman Chrome. So it's just an auto. So super scarce. Then you look at, that's 2016. Then you look at 2018. Where's his autos? There's only a few autos. You have it in the SSP of the paper, autos, very, very scarce, 5 to 10 copies in the world. And then you got your Chrome update autos. That's your options in terms of autos. Okay. And then you have your, obviously your SPs and paper parallels because, Soto was introduced in Topps Update. There's your point, John. You talked about Topps Update before. You don't have an update series. You don't have guys like Juan Soto in 2018, right? Because he missed all of the first half of, Chrome. He was 19 years old. He hit 22 bombs when he was a 19-year-old call up in that first year. So for me, I'd like to bring that all up just to kind of give you the overall perspective of Juan Soto and how great of a player he is and how scarce his cards are actually and why his cards trade at a premium. So I'm going to take 2 cards that I've always chased. I've gotten the privilege to pull one of these, which is the Gatorade Bath Soto SSP. So a PSA 10 recently sold for $2,700. Okay.
Wow.
I remember I sold that card. I sold that card at peak at 10 grand, near 10 grand. I pulled one and it True Gem Plus. I submitted to BGS because I didn't think it would PSA 10, but, it has a huge history. So PSA 10, I ended up buying, later on in that year for about $5 grand, and I sold it for 10. It's down to 2,700. So to me, I love that card. I think has so much eye appeal. It's a huge chase. About 300 copies print run in the SSPs in 2018 Topps Update. So the print run is super low. But I'm going to put that 2,700 PSA 10 with a pop count of about 60, I would say 60 plus, to a Topps Update Black out of 67. A BGS 9.5 recently sold for $3,300.
What?
Okay. So a BGS 9.5 of a Topps Update Black Soto, numbered to 67, right? I think I had 1 subgrade of 10 and a 9 subgrade as well. So it's just a 9.5 with a 10 subgrade. It sold for $3,300 and a pop count of 29 in a BGS 9.5. What do you guys take? If I'm saying, okay, I'm going to attack a Soto card this offseason and I want super rare, which, I think it's pop 29 versus pop 60 in the Gatorade. What am I going to spend that $3 grand on, or at least that target price?
Jeez, man, if the black is at $3,300, that means my update refractor is like $1,000.
Believe it or not, the update refractor still holds value. I think last sold was like 2,500.
Nice.
Which is not bad. It has a higher pop count. That. But, like I said, the Chrome refractors are super rare because they're numbered cards. There's not a lot of parallels in general with Juan Soto in that. And there's just one image, right? So all the parallels are of that image. So the refractor's not a bad card either. I was going to actually put that refractor with the Gatorade.
Hang on. The flagship image update black out of 67 BGS 9.5 sold for $3,300?
$3,300.
Holy cow. That's the choice for me. As much as I love the Gatorade, I don't know. Black is like, for me, I don't know about other collectors, but black is on another level for me. I think that's like in the upper echelon of rare parallels that you want to get, especially on the paper side. Like the camo is not that desired. It just really comes down to almost like black and Independence Day, right? So black is, especially the 2018 year, like all of the parallels in 2018 were just so cool.
Right. 100%.
And then you have a flagship image. I can't believe that's $3,300. Like $2,700 for the Gatorade, that's a shock in itself. But yeah, Yeah, black for me. I will say though, like I think we've been following Juan Soto pretty closely. And I remember somebody either on Instagram or maybe I watched a YouTube video of like an in-depth analysis about Juan Soto and his struggle, like his main struggle the last 2 years. I remember somebody kind of pointing out the fact that his swing timing was way off. I don't know what it was, injury or something was off, but he's pulling everything. So if you noticed, all his best years and barrel rates and hard hit balls and all of that stuff in the early years were all oppo shots. Like that's his best shots. And the last couple of years, he's been pulling everything. Most of his like 80% of his home runs were like dead pulls, right? But this year, if you guys notice, he's back. Like he's back hitting hard shots, oppo. I think a lot of his homers, if not majority, were oppo. So
I love
Juan
it.
Soto fans, yeah, it's good news. But anyways, besides the point, black all the way for me.
Yeah, I mean, I wish we stopped talking about Juan Soto because I'm back on the market for a Juan Soto card. Now that it's dipped nicely, and I'm back all in on Juan Soto. And for this pick one, I'm going to choose the black as well. I mean, that picture is just iconic for me at this point, and I thought the Gatorade card is cool. But I think we did this maybe a few months ago in an overrated, underrated segment. Like there are more Gatorade cards than you might think. Right. And I think it's getting a little bit played out. Maybe, Juan Soto is one of the more original ones. But, it's kind of like, I don't know. I'm not that into it anymore now. So yeah, I'm going to go with the black. It's numbered. It's numbered, right?
Yeah, it's number 67. Yeah.
Okay, there you go.
No, easy good choice. I think the Gatorade bath kind of traded a lot more than a black. You would never see a black sale because the people would never get rid of it. And right. John hit it on the nail where 2018 was the best paper parallel year for Topps. Like that was the year for Topps paper parallels. And then if you look back and extrapolate, you look at Trout update cards. What was one of the biggest Trout update cards? And that was the history of blacks because, a Trout update black would sell for like $30K, graded an 8.5, right? So it always had that history. Whereas Independence Day is more of a modern take. I think 2018 was the first year of Independence Day, and it kind of lost its luster when they just started doing the border in 2021. And 2020. So, the black is super desired, I think. I think even to this day, when I got back into collecting in 2018, 2019, I've always wanted a Cunha black or a Soto black or an Ohtani black. I always thought the black parallel was so good in 2018 that was always my chase. And to see it available like selling for 3,300 is
that's crazy.
To me it's crazy. It's like you would never be able to get in that before 2018 really. So I'm gonna go with the black as well, just because I pulled the Gatorade, I've had the PSA 10, I've done well with it. I've had the update refractor auto. I've had many Soto Bowman Chrome autos, which I still think is a decent buy in some cases. But the black is such a unique card. I think that's going to hold extreme long-term value. So something like that, I would go and look to buy, not for a flip, more so a long-term hold, long-term play, because I believe in Soto's ability.
Right. Good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
Now let's start talking about Juan Soto next.
Yeah. Man, that's a steal. I can't believe. Still can't believe it. All right, fellas. We are going Luka Doncic 28, National Treasures, rookie patch auto, the Holy Grail, numbered out of 99.
Yeah.
BGS 85, recently sold for $40K USD.
Okay.
Versus the Ethan Salas superfractor 101 auto.
Do we get this card for free and then we're selling it? Or
let's say you get it for free. Yeah.
See, that changes it a bit, right?
What do you mean? You get it for what?
Yeah. Like let's say because you're not paying money for the Ethan Salas, right? So let's say you get one free card.
Okay. You get a free card. Yeah.
You pull the Luka. Somehow.
So not necessarily you pay $100,000 for the Ethan Salas.
No,
and then you're
yeah.
paying $40,000 for the Luka.
You
right?
are blessed by having one of them for free. Which one are you taking?
I'm going Ethan Salas because some idiot's gonna pay $100,000.
I'm gonna edit this to make Hyung sound like he chose Ethan Salas over Luka Doncic.
I'm picking Ethan Salas. I'm gonna sell Ethan Salas and buy the Doncic.
Oh man. Yeah, I mean, if you put it that way, I got to go Ethan Salas too. Like, you know, it's already valued at $100,000 by some hardcore collector.
But
someone's going to take it.
Not
but
sure.
how confident are you in that number? That's the thing, right? It's just
listen. If you say $40,000 for the Luka, right? You know, $50,000. That's manageable, I think, right? You know, no, definitely, man. No, hey, the bounty. What was the bounty at for the non-auto? Remember the duplicate? I think it was a $75,000.
That's the non-auto. Yeah, that's the non-auto.
So no problem.
But that's different though, because that's like a, you know, those bounties are
they're
super
inflated
jacked up,
value.
right?
Yeah, they're not true
not
value.
value.
Okay, well, still $50,000 cash. I think I could get that for
you
sure.
You feel confident you get $50,000 cash?
Hey, what about this? What about this? You have to buy the Luka at the same price as the Ethan Salas. So $40,000, you have to buy the Ethan Salas for $40,000, and then you have to buy the Luka for $40,000.
Okay. That's
right?
That's
Is
not
that
bad.
fair? I'd still go Ethan Salas because some idiot will spend $100,000 on it, and then you have $50,000 left, right? That Luka you might not.
Yeah, clearly you got some immediate profit potential for sure.
You know what? In that case, I'm not that much of a risk taker. I'm going Luka.
Okay, there you go.
That's better. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I feel, and maybe I'm crazy. I don't know if I'm that confident that I can get $100,000. Like kind of like Hyung was saying, I would gladly take $100,000. I would gladly take $80,000. I would gladly take $50,000. You know, like I think that's the mindset of most people. So I don't feel as confident that I could get $100,000. Could I get 50? Maybe I could see that. So I'm actually picking the Luka because in case I can't get 50, which should be a pretty easy number to get, I can at least fall back on like a pretty amazing investment in case it goes sideways and I can't take advantage of the hype in the next 2 weeks, right? So I'm, you know, I get the profit potential of $100,000 is on the table, but I'm still taking the Luka just in case things go sideways. I'm still sitting on a grill card, and it's great for the collection, etc., etc.
I like it. All right, another good episode, guys. And we'll have a brand new episode for you guys on Friday. And thanks again for listening, tuning in to us as always. And we'll talk to you soon. Bye. Hey, thanks for listening to Cards to the Moon. We'd really appreciate you subscribing to our podcast wherever you listen to your podcasts. And you can also connect with each of us on Instagram at 5cardguys, or you can follow Hyung at Integrity Sports Cards, or John at TradeU@Recess. You can also check us out at 5cardguys.com. Thanks again, and hope to connect soon.